Hey there, and welcome to Upcycled Adulting, my YouTube channel where I help you grow to accomplish your goals, create healthy habits, and overcome obstacles. I am so incredibly excited that you are here today. Do not forget to subscribe because we are all about helping you build the life you've been dreaming of. Today, I'm going to be talking about working on your goals or accomplishing your goals without a support system. Here's the reality of the situation. A lot of us don't have a support system for a lot of different reasons. Perhaps you have people in your life, but they're not supportive. They are maybe even subversive. That's a conversation for a whole different day. Maybe you just live somewhere where you're far away from your people, or you're like me and you're an introvert and fiercely independent. So you tend to go it alone, right? It can be really challenging not to have support when it comes to accomplishing your goals. And so today I want to talk about real life support. And I also want to talk about some of the emotional and other support that you can get from potentially alternative spaces, because the reality is humans are pack animals. Okay. And if you thought you were going to watch this video because I was going to tell you how to lone wolf this thing, surprise, that's not what I'm actually going to do here. What I'm going to do is talk about how to piece together the kind of support that you may need. Because the truth is that our chances of success at accomplishing our goals go way up, like way up, when we have someone to be accountable to, when we have support and encouragement on our rough days. There is no way to circumvent that. And it does not matter how independent or introverted or lone wolfy, if that's a word, you are, you still actually need that. It's how we're wired. Okay. There's a lot of things about the way humans are wired that I'm like, boy, if only I could just circumvent that. This is not one of those things. You cannot circumvent it. So, I want to talk about exactly how we can make this happen. All right. So, the first thing I want to talk about is how to get support in your real life. One is there are probably people in your real life that are actually capable of supporting you or being a part of your support system. There's a high likelihood that you have struggled to lean into them. So, I want to give you this little piece of encouragement about how to do that because I think it matters. Take a look at all the people that are in your life right now and consider what their strengths are. What are their talents? What are they great at? Right? And acknowledge that they're great at that and ask them for help. The reason that this is so important is because people love to be seen and validated. They love to be acknowledged. They love for people to notice their strengths. They might not even know that that's a strength. But when you go to someone and you say, "Hey, I noticed you're so great at blank. Would you mind teaching me how to do that? Or would you mind helping me with that thing?" One, it gives you the opportunity to acknowledge their strength, which feels amazing to them. But two, it also creates connection and builds intimacy. One thing I can guarantee you is that you will not have support or have a support system if you don't ask for it. That is actually a very real thing. And I have found this to be true in, for example, my own family of origin. I generally do not ask for support, especially if I'm going through something tough or I'm pushing through at a goal that I'm really struggling with. I don't ask for support, right? And I have found that when I do, people always surprise me. They show up in ways that I didn't expect. I have created limitations about what they're able to bring to the relationship. Now, I'm a big believer in the Maya Angelou quote, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. So, if you know that there are people in your life that you've asked for help that have then become subversive or that have held it over your head and you have a big IOU or have not shown up for you, those aren't the people that I'm talking about. Okay. But just because a couple people have done this in your life doesn't mean all the other people will, even if they're all family members, right? Some of the people in my family are really well equipped to show up, especially in certain categories. All right. I have a sister who is the most amazing at supporting me with any business goal, right? I could be like tomorrow I'm going to build a skyscraper. And she'd be like, yes, you go. I have no idea how I would build a skyscraper, but she would 100% believe that I can build that skyscraper, right? She's amazing at supporting business goals. She's the first person that I reach out to when I'm struggling or when I have a win. And she's always like, I knew you could do it. You got this, always. She shines here. There are other ways that I don't know, maybe she doesn't because I'm kind of new to including other people in my goal work. But I know that when it comes to business goals, if I have a business goal, that's who I need to talk to. When I get ready to write and publish my first book, that's who is going to support me. 100%. And it's not that other people in my life aren't supportive in this way. It's that I haven't been the best at letting them in. So start letting people in. But there are people in my life who I will never lean into for support. The IOU is way too big. The cost is way too big. And it's painful. And it doesn't work. That's okay. But let's not put everyone in that basket preemptively to protect yourself. I know you might want to. I know this is scary, but do it. Now, if you don't have people, right, for whatever reason, a friend of mine actually lost both of their parents and they were an only child. They don't have family. They moved to a different country. They don't know anyone. They don't have people. Okay. The way to get people in your real life is to meet them through common interests. So if you have kids in school, if you're involved in a church, those are both great places where you can meet people, lean into them for support, and create your new community. If those aren't options for you, you're not a churchgoer, you don't have kids, it's okay. All right. It's okay. While certainly work is an option for a lot of us, many are now working from home. So that might not be a venue, but you can also join clubs or groups through online communities like Meetup or volunteer your time and meet people who have some similar passions to yours. These are great ways to connect with people. And I need to just stop right here and let you know that I have never once talked to a person who said, oh, my friend bucket is full. I'm not up for meeting any more people. Okay. Even people like me who struggle with peopling and I feel a little bit socially awkward and I have some social anxiety, I still feel like I could use some more friends. I could use a bigger support system. And I think that most people feel that way, but taking the first step to put yourself out there, that is one of the hardest things. So do it. Someone has to do it. And if you need a support system, go do it for real. The next thing I want to talk about is support specifically related to your goals, and support like emotionally. It's important to have physical support because there are certain things that people just can't do for you online, right? When you have physical support, if you meet someone through your kid's school, let's say you're a mom, you meet somebody through your kid's school or through your kid's activity, you can set up physical things like carpools that will allow you a little bit more time freedom to accomplish your goals, for example. You can even barter things like you both batch cook a couple of meals and you swap so that you have meals for the week and you don't have to do all that cooking yourself. Things like that. So you actually can create physical ways that you can serve each other and support each other, which you cannot do online. You can't. It's not going to happen, y'all. Okay. And we need to remember that having that physical support or having someone who can give us a hug when we've had a bad day actually does matter. That actually is valuable. We have to make the effort to put ourselves out there. Okay. But there's a whole nother level of support that you can get from social media and the internet that has never been available before. And that is that you can connect with people all over the world from all different walks of life. So if you have a goal, you can go online and find somebody who's accomplished that goal, who can help you, who can support you, who can cheer you on, who can give you tips, right? You can also find lots of people who will encourage you. And because time zones aren't really a thing, you can get help at 4 a.m. if that's when you happen to be struggling, right? Because somebody's up somewhere in the world. I mean, I have followers all over the world, including Australia and the UK and all over Europe and Africa. I have followers everywhere. So if I hop online because I need support and where I am, it's 4 in the morning. It's the middle of the day in a lot of these places. I always have that option. I always have that access. But one of the nicest things about the internet when it comes to your goals and having support to accomplish your goals is the fact that you're not recreating the wheel, right? You're not recreating the wheel. Somebody else has already done it. Somebody else can give you tips. Now, my advice here a lot of times is to go to the experts. Get in a community where other people have similar goals to yours, or get into a course that also has a community so you can learn how to accomplish your goals and have community support together, right? I have a course called Goal Mastery where I teach you all of the building blocks to accomplish any goal, no matter what your goal is. And it does come with a community because I know how important it is to have check ins, to have accountability, to have someone there to bounce ideas off of, to have someone who can remind you that just because you missed it today doesn't mean that you have messed up the whole thing, right? Have somebody to remind you that that small step that you took matters. Have somebody to remind you that you're doing an amazing job. Because the truth of the matter is, we forget that. And when we get behind our computers or on social media, a lot of times, if somebody prompts us, if it's somebody's job, like mine, to say, hey, share a win from this week. Tell me something you did for your goal. Tell me something that was a challenge for you this week. It will open up that dialogue and that conversation in a way that wouldn't necessarily be natural with somebody you know. It would probably be really weird for me if my sister texted me right now and said, so, what are you doing for your business? And I might even feel a little bit guarded or defensive or judged, even though I know that she's supportive of me. But what if I was struggling this week? It might be harder for me to tell her that than it would someone online, where I know it's their job to encourage and support me. And that's my job. That's what I'm here for. Plus, we have a whole community of other people from all over that are there to help you as well. The likelihood is someone in that community has already accomplished the goal you're setting out to do. Doing it alone, accomplishing your goals alone, is a choice that you are making. I know that that's a hard truth. I know that that's a hard truth. It's a choice that you're making. And listen, it may be a choice that you're making because of your experiences. And there may be very legitimate reasons you're making it, meaning that you have had bad, negative experiences with this in the past. You don't have a lot of supportive people in your life. You feel embarrassed or ashamed because you've told people your goals before and then you don't accomplish them. And that's really embarrassing. Get it? Done that. I had the same goal for 20 years, literally. And I stopped telling people because it was embarrassing the number of times I was setting the same goal. And I felt like they were all going to be like, okay, yeah, right. It's true. That's why a lot of people, for example, when I quit smoking, I didn't tell anybody I was quitting smoking because I didn't want people to know because I'd said so many times in the past, hey, I'm going to quit smoking. And then I didn't. And so I just felt like people would be like, yeah, right. And that is not the way to go into accomplishing your goals. Hiding them, playing small, being secretive about them, going it alone does not work. I'm not just saying this. There's actual scientific research that proves that it doesn't work. You go from like a 30% success rate, setting a goal, making a plan, writing it down, to a 75 plus percent success rate just by getting another person involved, just by having accountability, just by having support and encouragement. You more than double your success rate. That's the reality. Again, remember, humans are pack animals. We need people. We need other people, whether we want to or not. And I, for one, have tried to get around this. Believe me, it does not work. It doesn't work. Okay. So get out there. Go out in your community, get involved with churches, schools, volunteer opportunities, clubs, right? Get on Meetup and meet people. Ask them to show up in your life. Start building that intimacy, start building that connection. Okay. Lean into people that you know that are in your life already that maybe you haven't really given the chance to show up for you. Maybe just ask them for some small thing, right? Maybe tell them some small bit of news and see how they react. See how that goes. You don't have to put yourself all the way out there. You can just take a small step in this direction and go where you feel a little outside your comfort zone, but still relatively safe, right? And get online, find communities that will support you. Hire a mentor, take a course like mine. By the way, if you take a course related to goals, make sure that it has a community. All right. I just joined a course related to my goal and it has a community, but the community participants are not allowed to post in the community. Okay. That doesn't work. Make sure that they have a community where you can post, where you can reach out and be like, I had a rough night, or I had a rough day, or I've had a rough week, or I feel like I'm not able to do this, or I had the best thing happen. And you can get that feedback. So you're specifically looking for a community that's reciprocal, where you can post and you can comment, right? Get support. Get support, because here's the truth. You cannot accomplish your goals alone. This isn't solo. Does not mean you need people living in your house with you. Does not mean you need all kinds of support. Doesn't mean you need 50 people or 10 people or even 5 people, but you need a person. You need someone that you can be accountable to, that you can count on for encouragement. And that is when the magic happens. I'll go ahead and link the course in the description so that you can check it out if it's something that you're interested in as well. We have a dynamic community. It's really, really amazing. And people have had incredible success, like 99% of the time. People are accomplishing their goals. And of course, it has a 100% money back guarantee. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I am absolutely committed to helping you build the life that you've been dreaming of. You are amazing and you deserve it. Bye, everyone.